you see the screen, the video? Okay. So, I think I agree with Mr. Joel kanina when he shared sa atin kanina na we need to know the importance of family relationships. I think when we talk about mga inheritance, mga loss, mga struggle, mga problems na na-experience natin, I think if we can make our family relationship, improve our family relationship, I guess we may be able to avoid some of these many concerns and problems that we experience now. Before I'm going to share about the website, I know gusto niyo malaman yung sa familysearch.org and how it can help. Sorry po sa background noise if you hear that.
Okay yan. Mga family members mo yata yan, Sir David.
Sa kabila po yan, sa kabila. Part of our new normal pa, no? When we have our meetings at home, especially in the province, no? Okay. So hopefully, just a quick background, hopefully with our organization. But at least alam niyo po where we're coming from and what we do, our services, before we dive into the website that hopefully you would find useful. Okay. And this is what we do. No? We discover, gather, and help connect families. So we started in 1894. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints organized the Genealogical Society of Utah, GSU, which has expanded and become Family Search. We have we have spent maybe more than 100 years actively seeking out and preserving records of genealogical importance. So, such as yung mga birth records, yung mga civil registers, meron din mga probate records, mga land records, anything that would have a family related records that would help anyone find your family, connect with your ancestors or with your roots. So this is the purpose statement of our company. We create inspiring experiences that bring joy to all people as they discover, gather, and connect their family, past, present, and future. So hindi lang, no, when you talk about genealogy or family tree, sometimes you think of this as mga namatay lang, mga namatay mo mga ninuno, mga ancestors. But it's actually yung present, no? As Sir Joel kanina discussed. Ano ba yung sino may mga sa contact list mo, sa email, sa social media, they're still living. Why not capture those, gather that before they go away? It's really difficult. It's really difficult to do family history when those people that could be a good resource for you passes on. Kapag nawala na po sila. Mabuti sana kung if we have perfect records, just to make mention, we are, may mga typhoons na dumarating. We have fires like what happened sa Pandacan Church. Any natural or man-made calamities that could destroy those records, and it might be difficult for us to find our families if we wanted to. So sometimes it's not just the past, but even the present. Yung sa atin, yung records natin, how can we make sure that it's preserved so that maybe our posterity, hindi sila magkakaproblema. Kagaya na problema tayo maghanap sa ninuno natin. Hopefully, yung posterity natin will not have the same challenges if they want to find us, if we're connected to them down the line. Pag meron kayong maraming mamanahin sila, di ba? So you want those that your posterity to inherit those, and hopefully they could easily connect you to them. So familysearch.org is a free site, and it allows you to find information about your ancestors, and it is a service provided by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They are the primary benefactor. So we're nickname po, no? Yan yung nickname. This is the official name, and so they sponsor us. No? Kaya we do this as a free service because they're the one already sponsoring all of the expenses, all of the operations of this organization. Because our commitment to helping people connect with their ancestors is rooted in the beliefs of the members of the church. That families are meant to be central in our lives, and that family relationships are intended to continue beyond this life. And then just a brief overview lang. Family Search has been, so 1894, it's around 125. We just celebrated our 125th years. Pero sa Philippines, 40 years na tayo dito sa Philippines. And hindi masyado narinig, no? Because we work in the background. We work with the archives and the government institutions. So ito yung parang milestone lang dito sa Philippines for your information. We started microfilming parish records. So ito yung mga death, birth, baptismal, marriage, confirmation records during 1975. Noong 1983, we started microfilming the National Archives. Noong 1998, in NSO pa, the PSA, previously NSO, sa mga registrars, civil registrars office sa local. No? And then we started digital image capture. So using so-called digital cameras na po ito. So hindi na po yung microfilm. So 2009 nag-start po yun. And then yung mga na-microfilm na namin before, then we have to convert it. Para at least that's part of our preservation. Kasi magiging obsolete na yung microfilm. So we digitized 100,000 of the Philippine microfilms. So microfilm began with the parishes. So ito yung example ng mga camera kung paano namin ginagawa yung image capture. Okay. So digitization, yung first project was in 2009 sa Caloocan Civil Registry, tsaka yung Archdiocese of Haro sa Iloilo. And then in the Philippines, we have, so this is mainly the organization is run mostly by volunteers. 5,000 plus volunteers and growing. Dito lang sa Philippines, we have 180 family history centers. Although sa ngayon medyo close sila, no, because of the pandemic. Yung iba unti-unti na nag-open. But there are around more than 5,000 family history centers worldwide. Then we have 30 million index records. This is because of the volunteers doing indexing of the images that we have captured so that they can be searchable. Hindi na natin isa-isahin, hindi na kailangan isa-isahin, no? yung mga images, yung mga pictures. Dati po, kung sino pa naka-inform, naabot pa ni Sir Joel yung mga microfilms. When you have to go to this,
years ago, dumalo ako dun sa White Plains. Sa office sa White Plains, yes.
So you have this big microfilm readers, and then you have to order microfilms, and then you have to look for them. Dapat yung mata natin dapat. So you have to go through one by one. But now, since they were indexed, volunteers have parang transcription. They transcribe information from those images so that they can be easily searchable sa website natin. So wherever we are, we don't even have to go to a family history center just to search for these records. So quick profile then. So we Family Search International is a non-profit family history organization. Its headquarters in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's the largest family history or genealogical organization in the world, dedicating of connecting families. So this vision, I think yung vision po nito drives everything that that Family Search does, and it's carried out mostly by volunteers and employees that works to gather and preserve and shares also the world's records. We wanted to share also, of course, yung mga records nito, still the owner, the mga records custodian po will still be the owners. So hopefully they would agree to have us capture the records, archive records, and then have them preserved, no, for protection. And but usually in exchange of that, we would like that they would allow us that it can be shared according to according within the law, so that others, the general public, will be able to use them. Sayang naman kasi we preserve them, but if we don't share it, then there's no point of preserving it, no? If you don't want to share these records. We work internationally with organizations that share our visions and goals, and we provide preservation and access to records to link individuals and families. As mentioned, we are careful to observe the laws in the countries we operate. So we're operating in 100 countries. Iba-iba po yung mga batas, especially in terms of privacy law. Usually, yung pinaka-strictest will be sa Europe, ano? But in spite of the strictness sa Europe, siyempre meron din silang they allow, I think, mga 100 years yung birth ng individual. They would consider those records public records, and they would allow the general public to be able to see them, or at least for research purposes. I think sa US is 72 years, like for their census. So may law sila sa privacy. Kapag 72 years have passed, then they deem those records as public records for the public to be able to view those records. Sa atin, medyo bago pa po yung privacy laws po natin, and we are still working with the NPC just to get more clarifications sa mga implementing rules and regulations po nila, clarifying advisories on how to approach. Medyo hindi, no, yung sa legal team namin, hindi pa masyado explicit yung yung privacy laws natin dito. And so, makikita niyo po mamaya, no, sa website natin, nabanggit na namin kay Sir Joel ito. Sadly, medyo we need to take out these records for sa online muna until we, as we said, we were careful. We want to be law abiding and follow the laws of the land. We respect the privacy and the customs, and we are non-governmental. So technology, Family Search has been a pioneer in the use of technology and processes for its services, in capturing from image capture, digital conversion, preservation, online indexing, tsaka online access. So yung vast collection po namin is stored in a state-of-the-art archive facility. Ito yung mountain granite vault po, no? Near the headquarters. So it's built inside the granite mountain. Family Search has received numerous awards for its work in supporting and developing preservation technologies. It is a member of and an active participant of many councils, committees, and associations for archives and archivists. Family Search also has a membership sa ISO, sa ANSI, and other international standards organization, and has been instrumental po sa setting the quality standards and the development for microform and other digital and preservation technologies. So we have pioneered that in that area. So services, image capture. So we obtain preservation quality image, original record. And sometimes this is very costly for many of our, hindi kaya po ng mga archives natin sa Catholic Church archives or government. It's really time consuming din and costly for them. That's why Family Search, DCAM technology, we have the technology not only produces archive quality, but it helps make these images be published faster. We are sa ngayon, we have over 300 plus cameras worldwide deployed worldwide. Usually, mainly on capturing vital records. When we mean by vital records, ito po yung mga birth records, death, marriages, something like family-based records. Another services is indexing. This is mentioned po kanina. We transcribe information from these images to be searchable, online access, and preservation. With regard to preservation, archives copies over from 100 countries, spanning hundreds of years are safely stored in that state-of-the-art granite mountain vaults for long-time storage po. And in many cases, Family Search has been able to provide archive quality ng mga stored records nito to archives where the original has been destroyed by earthquake, fire, flood, or human error. Maybe you would see that. I think recently, in June, yung Pandakan church nasunog, we were able to return the records that have been lost because of the fire. Now, if you are able to go to the Salt Lake, that's the largest family history library. Nandun, you're able to have the resources na minsan hindi available or hindi pwedeng i-view sa Family History Center or online due to our contracts with archives. Dito sa library na ko na pwedeng makita yung mga ganong resources. So this is a typical family history centers, although we have smaller ones po dito sa Philippines. And of course, ito po yung site.
Yan, yung sa loob. Yes, tama.
Sa familysearch.org. Okay? And then we also have apps. Basically, kung anong magawa natin sa familysearch.org, pwede na dito. We could also search records through this. Sometimes it's easier. Ito, I use these apps like for reunions, just to capture, just to interview people. And it really helps gather those information that may be needed in a future time. So these apps are really helpful. They're mobile though, and easy to carry out. We can do family history anywhere, anytime with these apps. Okay. Just to before we go there, let's go back to. Let me now share yung our website. Okay, I hope you can see the website po na familysearch.org. And I logged in. This is I have 2 accounts kasi since I'm an employee, I have a more may access ako sa isang account ko. But this is what would be your access when you register a free account. So this is free po. So usually sa menu we have the family tree. So dito po yung family tree, dati po kasi when we do family history work, parang kanya-kanya po, no? I have my own family tree. Yung anak mo, yung parents mo, kapag gagawa sila ng kanilang family tree, they have their own separately. But this one po, the difference with family tree is that we try to attempt to create a global tree. A global tree wherein hopefully we can be connected somehow. It's easy to connect with cousins. So if they're building their own tree and suddenly you're able to connect with a common ancestor, then you'll be able to link with the rest of his tree. And that helps with doing family history. Mas napapadali po ngayon, no? Instead of just doing it alone. This would be a family effort, a clan effort. I'm not sure ko si Sir Joel ba, kapag nung ginawa niya yung clan niya, solo niya lang ba or may katulong siya, no?
Sometimes ko kaya lahat yan. Ang dami nila.
And sometimes it's easier if everyone will build their own tree, and then kapag mag-connect dito, pwede i-connect. And we can connect those deceased po, no? Yung deceased lang. Of course, yung mga living po are still remain. If you create living, let's say if I create po, let me go to the tree. Ito po yung makikita nyo po, no? You can see this. Okay. So let's say you can change the landscape. So this is the landscape view. You can make it parang portrait view. Ito po ganito po yung view kapag sa apps po kayo, no? Okay. So you usually start hopefully with yourself. I've when it comes to dito sa Cebu, I've was able to help some individuals na gusto nila ma-connect, gusto nila malaman if konektado sila sa ganitong person, they want to make that connection just for a land settlement ba, no? Sa yung real estate settlement, kailangan nila ng proof, kumbaga yung kan sila, they are legal descendants, but then sometimes they want to go straight up, no? To that ancestor, and sometimes it will be difficult that way. We need to start, let's assume na parang isang puno po ito, no? We don't go and try to grab from the ground, trying to grab a leaf, no? On top of the highest branches. We need to start at the bottom. We climb up the yung puno, kumbaga. So we start here. That's how we do research. We start here and we try to identify the next generation. Most likely, if they're still living, we could easily get those information through interviews, and baka they could share their documents since they're still living, which are still available po na, no? But then as you go up higher, you would need sources, records, just to build your tree. No? So for example, if I want to build the parents of my grandparents, okay, this next generation, I would need to find out muna. No? We need to start kung saan to the known people. Okay, hindi tayo pwede mag-jump sa pinakataas, sa unknown. No? We need to start to those individuals that we already have information about. And then if we know about their dates, like for example, their birth date, and then their birthplace, usually yun ang mga kailangan nating malaman, no? The date and the place of this known individual. So from there, we're gonna search for a record if it exists. No? For example, if you know that this one, Rufino Villanueva, was born 1900 in Malolos, Bulacan. So we have a date, get approximate lang siya. And then we know dahil sa kwento, dun sila nanggaling sa Malolos, Bulacan. Then with those information, you can then try to begin your research using civil register records or church records. So how would we do? If you want to find the parents of Rufino Villanueva, then you would likely find them in a birth certificate. Hindi naman nakasulat yung parents ko, no, sa birth certificate. So you would try to find a birth certificate on this specific day at this specific place. So yun pong kailangan natin ng dalawang information when we do our research. If, for example, wala tayong makitang birth certificate and then but we have information about their marriage, since nandun din po naka-indicate yung sa marriage document yung parents, then if we have the information about the marriage date and the marriage date, then we can search that way. Okay? So that's just a tip po when especially when researching, we need to start at the base sa generation po natin. And you can begin now, no? As early as now, while people are still living, families, mga oldest relatives are still living. Okay? So dito po natin makikita kung where you can start, ano pa yung missing po ninyo, no? You can have a fan chart po nga dito just to see until 7th generation, let's say, blow up na. Okay, so makikita nyo kung saan ang pwede nyong, with these views, it could help you with where you could start your research. Okay, so makikita mo yung mga blanco pa po dito. Or for example, ito, last name lang. I need to do more research on that and get more sources. Okay, so this is that's the tree. Now we have the search. Looking to sa next, if you want to search those records, dito po tayo pupunta, no? Search, there you could search for records. There's also a catalog. So ito yung mainly pwede nyo gamitin. I usually personally use the records and the catalog. Sa records po, okay. So dito po sa left side, you could see search historical records. These are the index records. So hindi mo na po kailangan tingnan. Hindi na po kailangan tingnan yung bawat images, no? Since na-index na po sila. Kaya you can just type a name. Let's say for example, Ferrer. And then let's say just so you can put some filters, okay? Kasi you will be able, maraming Ferrer, maka worldwide, meron din, no? You could filter it by country. If you know the birthplace, pwede nyo po i-filter po yan, just to limit the search results. Yun po natin yung mga index. So this will be an example of the index records available. Okay? Siyempre may mga similar names. Pwedeng, so you need to make sure compare with the available data of the events if they match your ancestor po, no? Kasi pwede po kasi kapangalan niya lang, no? Not necessarily kagad yan na kagad ang yun na kagad yung ancestor niyo po. So you would need to compare with information in the events or relationships. So, no? If tama ba yung spouse. Right? It could be the same name, but if it's a different spouse, then probably it would be it can be a different person. Or possibly, we might not know. Hindi natin alam pala, may pangalawang that person married twice. So that's part of the computer cannot do that for us. Now the site will help us see if there are records available that our organization have captured, and yung researcher na po would be the one who would try to decide. So may decision making din po tayo if this individual is an ancestor of ours. Okay. Sa catalog, so ito po yung one way of searching. When you can search through catalog po, if you have a place, for example, you have a place, let's say Cebu. Okay. Cebu, Philippines. Okay, so you could choose Cebu, Philippines, and then click search. And then it will show, the catalog will show ano ba yung mga records available in Cebu. And it would categorize them based on census. These are census records, civil register, they are court records. So you could expand them. Okay.
Wow.
And so you would try to see, and it could also be categorized by dates din po, no? So if you have that information, then you would know how to search. Okay? Kung anong category kayo magse-search. So that helps talaga. Instead of not knowing, no, where to begin, we need to start somewhere. Okay. There's also immigration records, land property. Some of these are I'm not even familiar yet. No? Usually, ang nagagamit ko talaga heavily is civil and Catholic records. They are really rich po, no? To help build our connections. So we tackled this already. Index. Sa right side, you can research by location. So you can research other countries. Hindi restricted yung mga records nila. You can go through those records. Okay. So nandito po yung image only historical records under pinili ko natin yung Philippines po, no? So ito po yung available natin na collections. So that you're aware of, no? So nabanggit kanina yung civil register kasi during the time nag-start lang po yan, no? Meron tayo sa civil register 1945 after the war. Okay, so we have those records. Prior to the war, nabanggit ni Sir Joel, makikita po natin yun sa archive.
Yeah, you know the dates more than I do based on sa mga catalogs niya.
Sa archive, mga 1900s to the war, no? 1945. Nasa National Archives po siya. Okay? But prior to 1900s, syempre we were under colonial rule, Spanish colonial rule. And so the government records, the church records were basically the government records. No? So yung mga birth records, mga baptism records, nandun po. So if you want to research before 1900s, then we usually seek out the church records. Okay? So dito po yung mga linggayen, mga parishes. So top 5. Let's go to one of these example. Okay? Kung makikita niyo po yung may makita niyo po merong camera, ibig sabihin makikita niyo po yung images. Kung wala po, kung walang camera, you can only search for the index. So you will not see the actual image, but you would have the information that was indexed. Okay? So let's try an example. Okay, for civil registration. So meron ng index information. But if you want to browse through the images, nandito po sa baba, okay, you can search, but you can also browse through images. And then you can search by province. So that's important. Kailangan may place po, no? Let's try Cebu. And then, okay, let's say Bogo. Okay, birth registers. And then there's a year range, okay? Para mas easier in search natin, okay? Ito, medyo, paano to? Hanap tayo ng older siguro. Pero kung kunin natin prior to the war, sa National Archive, ito yung makikita niya. So just like in the microfilms.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they're not restricted na po, these are the records that you'll be able to use. The public can use freely. Okay. But these records cannot be published for now, especially given the time. They're less than 100 years, but older records will be similar. Okay. So dito makikita niyo po, this is a register. So makikita niyo po yung father and the mother. Okay. So if your known ancestor po, balik po tayo dito. If your known ancestor, ito po, sa pinaka-left column side, ito po yung alam niyo po sa family tree, then that's what you'll be searching for. You know the year. So usually registered is arranged chronologically. So that's how you search them. And then if you found your known ancestor, then you just scroll to the right, then you will be able to search yung parents niya. Okay. So itong record na to, they span, since they're really large book, they span 2 pages. You just go to the next page and see the next page. And you'll be able to see the parents of that individual. And that would help you extend. So that's just a basic family history research on how can we add a generation to our family tree using these records. The site will help us see if there are records available that our organization have captured. And yung researcher na po would be the one who would try to decide. So may decision making din po tayo if this individual is an ancestor of ours. Okay. Sa catalog, so ito po yung one way of searching. When you can search through catalog po, if you have a place, for example, you have a place. Let's say Cebu. Okay. Cebu, Philippines. Okay, so you could choose Cebu, Philippines, and then click search. And then it will show, the catalog will show ano ba yung mga records available in Cebu. And it would categorize them based on census. These are census records, civil register, they are court records. So you could expand them. Okay.
Wow.
And so you would try to see, and it could also be categorized by dates din po, no? So if you have that information, then you would know how to search. Okay? Kung anong category kayo magse-search. So that helps talaga. Instead of not knowing where to begin, we need to start somewhere. Okay. There's also immigration records, land property. Some of these are I'm not even familiar yet. No? Usually, ang nagagamit ko talaga heavily is civil and Catholic records. They are really rich po, no? To help build our connections.
Buti na lang you did this presentation because I'm not really that well versed in navigating I mean, I've been inside familysearch.org and I thought marami na ako natingnan, but after showing what you just showed today, wow, ang dami ko pa palang hindi natingnan. So many resources that function alone, no, you just click a place like Cebu, and you will magda-drop down na lang lahat ng mga records na digitized that are available. Pwede nyo nang puntahan. Wow. Kahit yun lang, busog na ako doon. Even before the pandemic, from time to time, I encounter stray emails of people that have the same surname as ours, knocking on our doors, asking for help. This is the name of my father. This is the name of my grandfather. We have the same surname. Magkanag-anak po ba tayo? And as much as I want to help, we do have books. We can search the books. But kung hindi ka mag-anak, pasensya na po, we have the same surname. But I know the feeling. I know the feeling of wanting to connect, right? With other people that are our kinsmen, that are our relatives. And like I said, this has happened before the pandemic. And my God, during the pandemic, it increased. Precisely because a lot of people are looking for support. So, aminin na natin, financial support, job support, business, fine. I mean, if we're relatives, why not? Even non-relatives already helping, di ba? Kung meron tayong pwedeng maitulong, bakit hindi? Pero, yun nga, we have limited resources. But, yun nga, if I could, show itong excerpts ng video natin doon sa aming Ferrer website, I could show them, here's a site. Kasi it's one thing to show them the link, and another thing to show the presentation that you did. And wow, it's a very, very good presentation. At the end of the day, blood is blood. Whether mayaman ka or mahirap or and according to the law, if it's a blood relative na may right to a certain estate or inheritance, dapat talagang panagutan yun. Yun yung ano doon. No? But looking outside of the legal framework, the estate damana, again, another thing that I'd like to highlight, which Sir David has also highlighted, is the importance of relationships. I saw that very nice presentation, no, the video before siya pumunta doon sa familysearch.org, the importance of family relationships. So, mayroon mga snapshots of families getting together on different occasions, sharing burdens, sharing ating emotions, and yeah, actually sa ating constitution, very important ang family. It's a very basic institution na dapat nating pangalagaan. Even if sabihin natin nagkakaroon ng mga marital breakups, unfortunate but true, still meron pa rin mga pananagutan at mga relationships na kailangan palagahan. So that's where we're coming from. And for someone that is involved in two big clans, I know a lot of clan members come from broken families, blended families, extended families. It happens. But we're here to provide support. Kasi when the fundamental institutions like the government, the police, local government have failed to address our basic needs. Like what's happening now, 'di ba? Nagbigay na ng ayuda ang gobyerno, pero kulang pa. Kulang pa. Who do we turn to? Who else can we turn to? Family is one. Other social networks are other parang avenues na pwede natin kumbaga takbuhan. So now is a good time to develop our social capital. And this tool, itong familysearch.org, is one good way to develop it. It's not only the technical aspect eh. Kung napansin niyo, meron din silang yung parang social media side, di ba? Yung parang Facebook. Yung, Sir David, di ba yung memories? Pwede ka maglagay ng mga larawan, pwede ka maglagay ng ano. And that is something that we've done, especially sa Ferrer clan. Aside from our genealogy that some people might find boring, we also have our magazines. So doon sa magazines, doon lumalabas yung mga personalities, the color, the history, the context, na nakikita din natin doon sa social media. Another good thing na nakikita ko doon sa site nyo, kasi kami sa Ferrer at saka doon sa C, we have built our genealogy on our own. Walang assistance at all from familysearch.org. And in order to do that, you need an organization. Yun nga, clan. Organized kami. Paano yung mga ibang tao na hindi organized? Diyan papasok yung familysearch.org. Kahit mag-isa ka lang, di ba? Just go to the records, try to find. But you have to start from yourself, gaya na sinabi ni Sir David. Sisimula mo muna. Start with your nuclear. Ikaw, parents, then you try to build up to grandparents. Just on and on and on and on until finally, yan, matagpuan mo na rin yung mga ibang ano. So, yun na nga, for the benefit of those that don't have clans or organizations that can parang collectively work together to build your family tree, andyan na po, libre na po. Kahit mag-isa lang kayo, dalawa lang kayo, go to familysearch.org. Kayang-kaya nyo nang gawin.
Or Sir Joel, try po yung apps po, no? It has some of the same functionalities and it's easier, no? You can do it anywhere. So download the free apps. So completely free po yan. Wala po yung mga in-app purchases, no? Kaya hindi ko nakikita nyo po, no? So ito yan ang family tree. So it's just the same functionality with if I click family tree. So it has the same functionality.
Pero ang sakit sa mata. Ang dikit. Yun lang. Ang sakit sa mata niyan. Oh. Wala akong clan, no? I go there, do research, and then I see may common ancestor. There's another person na common ancestor din niya. So most likely, kamag-anak kami. Can I message that other person? O malabo?
Within po, yes. Opo, dito po.
Really?
For example, when they have their own account po, no? So for example, dito po, minsan may nangyari po, may nag-add. Tapos added, and they added
isa pang Villanueva, naging pareho pala yung lolo nyo or something.
Yes, an information po, no? Kasi ito i-open ko na kung saan natin makikita. Tapos click natin ito sa person. And then for example, sa details, so that's where collaboration, may collaboration
yes.
dito, no? So for example, when you do edit, you would see who for example, last change. Yes, makita niyo po kung sino yung last change, no? Last change family search dito. Sometimes it will be the name of that person. Okay? So when you click that name of the person, it will sometimes kung gusto, if they choose to show their contact information like email, they will you could see that. But if not, then you could send a message and they could receive that message within the familysearch.org. Dito may mga messages dito.
Kasi a while ago you said, ang mga dinidisplay lang dito.
Yan po mga messages na may na-receive akong kan.
Yeah. You said a while ago, yung mga naka-display lang dito yung mga pumanaw na. So paano yan? Kasi buhay pa yung kamag-anak, di ba? Na kunwari, common relative namin.
You won't see their profile here. You won't see their connection, their profile po. But you could see the one that yung contributor po you can send. So dito po sa yung pinakita ko po dito, like for example, itong messages dito. Ito po yung nag-contact sa akin, like for example, Orlando Aguilar. So hindi ko po makikita yung profile niya po dito sa tree.
Yes.
Because he's still living. But since he's a contributor and then he messaged, I saw that he added some info. Then I could message him. So sasabihin ko, tatanungin ko, saan niyo po nakuha yung ganitong information? So you can have this collaboration. Yes. And sometimes you would just be amazed that you would namalayan mo lang, may kamag-anak ka pa pala dun sa lawag, no? Ako may na-connect ako dito na kasi taga Ilocos po yung mother ko. Pero wala na akong kilala mga kamag-anak doon, but someone messaged me. And sometimes you would see how related you are, no? Kung parang distant cousin mo. So it's amazing that you're able to connect that way.
Yeah. So it's a great site kasi nga nakikita niyo yung pedigree niyo as you move on. It has messaging functionality, no? Sa Facebook kasi, although you could message anyone there, almost everyone unless naka-block ka. Wala dun yung, nakikita mo lang friends of friends eh. So, what is a friend? Diba? Pero dito, you see ancestry and then the messaging function is also there.
Everyone uses everyone uses Facebook, but it's a generic messaging. Pero dito, if someone message you, it will definitely about research or family history.
Okay.